And once you start asking yourself that question honestly, something begins to soften inside you. Not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you stop running from them. You stop pretending that distance alone is healing. You stop telling yourself that being untouched means being whole. You begin to realize that the goal was never to disappear from the world. It was to re-enter it differently. A lot of people think that opening up again means going back to how things were before, being overly available, over-explaining, over-giving, tolerating things that quietly hurt just to keep connection alive. And because they don't want to repeat that pain, they stay closed instead. But growth doesn't take you backward. It takes you forward with awareness. You don't open your heart by throwing it wide open to everyone. You open it the way you open a window, slowly, intentionally, only as much as you can handle. You let fresh air in without inviting the storm. Reconnection isn't about suddenly socializing more or forcing yourself to be outgoing. It's about allowing yourself to feel again in the presence of others, to be affected, to be moved, to be seen, even a little. And that starts internally. It starts with noticing where you've become rigid, where you've decided, I don't need anyone, not because it's true, but because it feels safer than hoping. Where you've labeled your withdrawal as peace, without checking whether it still feels alive. Because real peace has warmth in it, it has softness, it allows movement. If your peace feels tight, guarded, or brittle, it's asking for balance, not more isolation. You don't heal by forcing yourself back into situations that drained you before. You heal by choosing differently, by choosing people who respect your pace, conversations that don't require performance, presence that doesn't demand explanation. Sometimes that means one person. Sometimes that means a single, honest conversation. Sometimes that means sitting in silence with someone who doesn't rush to fill it. Connection doesn't have to be loud to be real. And here's something important. You don't need to be fully healed to connect. Waiting until you're ready often becomes another form of avoidance. Healing happens through safe connection, not before it. You learn to trust again by practicing trust in small, contained ways. You learn to open up by sharing a little and seeing what happens. You learn that not everyone will hurt you. Not because you're lucky, but because you're wiser now. Your boundaries are stronger. Your awareness is sharper. Your self-respect is deeper. You're no longer the version of you who tolerated emotional chaos. And that means you don't have to fear connection the same way. But you do need to stay honest with yourself. If you notice that you dismiss people quickly, withdraw at the first sign of discomfort, or assume misunderstanding before it happens, that's not intuition. That's protection trying to stay in control. And control is understandable, but intimacy requires a little surrender, not surrender of self, surrender of fear. The truth is, connection will always involve risk. There's no version of love, friendship, or closeness that comes without vulnerability. But vulnerability doesn't mean being unprotected. It means being present while staying grounded in yourself. You don't lose yourself in connection when you're connected to yourself first. And maybe that's the quiet lesson behind why so many people needed solitude in the first place. They needed to come home to themselves, to learn who they are without external noise, to build a relationship with their own mind and heart. That phase matters. It's sacred. It shouldn't be rushed or judged, but it's not meant to be the final destination. Because a life lived entirely inward eventually starts to echo. And echoes aren't the same as dialogue. You don't need a crowd. You don't need constant interaction. You don't need to prove anything. You just need a few places where your inner world can land safely. And maybe the most honest way to live isn't choosing solitude or connection, but learning how to move between them with awareness. Knowing when to retreat and when to reach, when to protect and when to open, when to be alone and when to let someone walk beside you. That's not confusion. That's emotional maturity. So if you're someone who has stepped back from the world, know this. You didn't do anything wrong. You listened to yourself. You honored your limits. You chose peace when things felt overwhelming. And if you're starting to feel a quiet pull toward connection again, that doesn't mean your peace is ending. It means it's expanding. You're not meant to live hidden. You're meant to live honest. And honesty sometimes asks us to step out of the safe spaces we built, not to abandon them, but to bring that safety with us into the world. That's when solitude stops being a retreat and becomes a foundation. And from that place, you don't disappear from life anymore. You participate gently, consciously, and on your own terms. And once you don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you feel connected with this content. Good luck and stay safe.